Hello and welcome. Let's take a look at our top story this hour. Dignitaries from around the globe are arriving in London to pay their respects to the late Queen Elizabeth II. Preparations are in full swing in London for the grand royal funeral to be held on Monday. Indian President Draupadi Murmu paid her respects to the late Queen Elizabeth II at London's Westminster Hall. She is among the many world leaders and heads of state who will be attending Queen Elizabeth II's funeral. Earlier in the day, US President Joe Biden arrived in Britain for the Queen's funeral. He is expected to pay his respects at the Queen's coffin and meet King Charles III today. Meanwhile, Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina paid tribute to the late Queen Elizabeth II. She also signed a book of condolences at Lancaster House in London. She recounted how both she and her father had the opportunity to meet with the late monarch. Several royals from around the globe are also attending the Queen's funeral. Japanese Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako arrived in Britain to pay their respects. Now, the decision for the Emperor and Empress to attend the Queen's funeral underscores the importance and the deep bond between the royal families. Traditionally, a Japanese emperor stays away from funerals, except for those of their own parents. Talking about the royals, earlier in the day, the Sultan of Southeast Asian nation of Brunei departed for the United Kingdom to attend Queen Elizabeth's funeral. The Sultan will join scores of royals and world leaders in the grand state funeral on Monday. The Queen had visited the Commonwealth country twice. On Saturday, the new monarch met leaders of the Commonwealth at Buckingham Palace. King Charles held talks with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness, and Prime Minister of the Bahamas Philip Davis. Scores of world leaders are expected to attend the Queen's funeral. Meanwhile, security was stepped up near Windsor Castle ahead of the funeral. The head of London's police said that the state funeral of the Queen will be a massive operation. This is the biggest security challenge for Britain since World War II. Officials from the British domestic and foreign intelligence agencies are reviewing terrorist threats. Snipers will be stationed on rooftops. Surveillance drones will fly overhead. Private security guards will assist with crowd control. Specialist officers on duty will be there with the inclusion of drivers, dog handlers, police on horseback, motorcycle outriders, firearms officers, and close protection officers. They will guard members of the royal family and leaders from around the world.
We're expecting hundreds of thousands. We know it's unprecedented in terms of our city. Our city will never have seen this many people. And you've got to remember, earlier in this year, we had Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee. We're a city that's had Olympics in 2012. We undertook the Queen Mother's funeral, Princess Diana's funeral. We have carnivals in Notting Hill every year. We have the marathon. We have massive events. We have the Euros, of course. This is nothing like that. This is the biggest police operation ever.
Meanwhile, Prince William and Harry held a vigil at either end of the Queen's coffin. Their heads were bowed as mourners streamed past the late Queen's lying in state. Now, thousands of people are seen camping outside Westminster Hall, hoping to secure a good spot on funeral day. Now, these are the live visuals coming to us from Westminster Hall. The queue to see the Queen lying in state will be closed by the government later. The public will be able to see the coffin in Westminster Hall until 6:30 a.m. local time on Monday. Now, according to the government, the Queen's funeral will be screened in parks and squares as well as cinemas across the UK. Queen Elizabeth's body has been lying in state here at the historic Westminster Hall since Wednesday, and people from all walks of life and from around the world have been filing past in a constant emotional stream. Many, we know, having queued overnight and some for up to 24 hours.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.